Certain guitar parts are better suited to minimalist chord structures. In this lesson, we'll explore some cut-down chord shapes, often called shell chords, that allow for quicker, more tightly voiced chord playing. The term shell chord is most commonly associated with comping in jazz, where guitarists would play only the most important notes of the chord, usually involving just 3 or 4 strings. This gives the soloist a simple harmonic base upon which to layer a number of different melodies and more complex harmonies. But we can also apply this concept to common chords such as major, minor, and power chord extensions. Let's start with some basic major shapes. These can be seen as cut-down versions of the fuller bar chord shapes we learn in our formative years. Here I take the major E form bar chord and cut it down to the 6th, 5th and 3rd strings, giving us a tighter sounding triad shape. You'll need to mute the 4th string by collapsing back your ring finger slightly so it touches the 4th string. Onto the A form equivalent, where we cut down the A-shaped bar chord to just the 5th, 4th and 2nd strings, again using the same ring finger muting technique on the 3rd string. Just play around with these two shapes and see what you come up with. For example, under gain or distortion, these stripped down voicings sound particularly punchy and tight, unlike the fuller bar forms. These shapes are particularly good for sliding because we're only voicing 3 strings. You could also raise the major third of the shape to a 4th, giving us a suspended 4th shell chord that can be alternated with the major shape. And of course, we can create simplified minor shapes as follows. These shell forms allow you to create tight, punchy chord movements across the neck. There are other major and minor shell forms we can play, such as this 3-string major form. And minor. These are suitable for both finger picking and picking using a plectrum. They're also good for more understated chord playing, for example. Experiment with picking and strumming these chord forms and coming up with your own progressions. So those are the most basic shell forms that could lay the foundations for a song. Before we look at some more complex shell forms, let's use this concept to explore some power chord alternatives. As you probably know, the the standard power chord consists of two tones, the root and fifth. We can add notes around this formation, such as the ninth, as follows. You'll hear this voicing used in a lot of metal. Or we could add a major seventh interval to the root fifth power chord. You could move between the two as follows. Try modifying them further. For example, we could take the added ninth form and flatten the fifth for a simple but beautiful diminished voicing. Or sharpen the fifth for an augmented voicing. Going back to regular chords, we can use a similar technique to find interesting voicings and movements. Just try changing the frets on each string in the shape and see what you come up with. All in all, these shell chord shapes offer you tight, efficient, yet colourful voicings that you'll find useful in many situations, even if just for laying down a quick idea for a chord progression or harmony part. Visit the lesson page for chord charts and other supplemental content. Cheers.